It's Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Steve Kilbey from the church. And we're not talking about the Catholic Church or the Jewish faith. I don't know. He's created his own church, as you do. Now we're going to talk for about 20 minutes, and if you know Steve or don't know Steve, you probably need about 2 hours to do this. So we're going to skim. So make sure you look up Steve because there's a lot more to him than what we're going to catch here. I'll guarantee you. How are you, Steve?
Yeah. Hi, Dave. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm in a Mercure Airport Hotel at Newcastle Airport. And
Newey.
tomorrow I'm flying up to Hayman Island.
Well, you're lucky. If you went to the McDonald's there over the road from the venue, you probably wouldn't be going anywhere. You'd probably be killed or
Sick of
something like
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a beautiful place, Newey, but it's got its shades. Um, so let's get into it. How did it start? Give people who might be seeing you for the first time or new fans, 45 years ago, had the church,
How did the
start?
church start?
Yeah, can you do that
Um,
in 25 words or less?
all
No.
right. I had a 4-track tape recorder.
Tascam?
A Tascam reel to reel. I had quit live music in '77, and I'd taken 3 years off. I had written hundreds of songs. I reconnected with a guy called Peter Coppice who had played in a previous band of mine, and he came round and listened to what I was doing. And we re-recorded some of the songs with him playing guitar, and it made it much better because he was a great guitarist and I wasn't. And then we got in a drummer who was turned out to be a rat bag and got kicked out very rapidly. And we did a couple of gigs as a three-piece. And one night, this sort of rather handsome young man turned up, who looked like the missing member of Def Leppard.
Yes.
And that was Marty Wilson Piper. And I offered him the gig on the spot because he looked so good. And the others were really angry and said, "How do you know he can play?" And I was like, "I don't, but he just looks so good. We've got to get him in the band." And I intuitively felt he would be right. And my intuition was right. And we slogged around for a while. We got a publishing deal and a record deal. Our first single was an abysmal failure, but our second single we got to play on Countdown, and literally the next day, we were overnight sensations.
That's where I
And
saw you. I
yeah,
saw I saw a video on 81 Countdown, and they had a young Steve Kilbey there. Looked like, he's just out of high school or something or other. He looked pretty young. And I thought, oh my God, I'm talking to you, so I have to remember that. I couldn't remember it. I'm an old dog like you. I couldn't remember where I saw you. But that's where it was in their Countdown
yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
we were lucky. We were lucky, and it was like literally overnight success. The next day after that Countdown show, we played a gig in Melbourne, and it was Monday night, and there were 900 people there,
unbelievable.
and the girls were screaming, and
Unbelievable. The
it
rest is
was
the
yeah.
rest is history.
There you go.
The rest is history. Now, when we say the rest is history, many kids, different parents, lived in different countries, survived heavy drugs, which we won't talk about, but you survived that period as most probably musos through the 80s and 90s have probably got a story like that. You lived in Surrey Hills. I lived in Surrey Hills for a while there in Darlinghurst, which is a
Wow.
great place to live, by the way.
Yeah.
So again, in another just short brief, because we haven't got a long time, how do you, like, that's a life,
Yeah.
that's a full life. And interspersed in all that, obviously, is music, which is,
Yeah.
the common theme,
Yeah.
and all the relationships and all the superstars that were kids that became superstars and legends and icons and all this sort of stuff. It must be an enormous thing to look back on. At what stage? The question I'm getting to a question. At what stage do you think you got to, you know, or have you ever got to a sort of a conscious place where the pursuit has dropped off and it's just the experience, the enjoyment? because I'm sure that, for a lot of it, there's a got to get somewhere, got to build something, got to make something, and all this sort of stuff. And at some stage in most of our lives, we get to a place where we say, fuck this, I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm trying hard to have that epiphany. I was telling someone the other day, actually a guy who's written a biography about me, he came around and visited me, and I said, all of these mechanisms that I turned on so long ago, they won't just turn off, this voice going, you're not working hard enough, you're not having enough success, you should play bigger venues, you should work harder, you should make more records, you should this and that, and envious of other people who are doing
Yes,
better than
yes,
me.
yes.
All of that, it has never just turned off. This thing I put in place, my own whip that has whipped me on and whipped me through all the bad times whenever I was lugging my gear into a rehearsal studio to rehearse with a band who nobody wanted to hear, and or lugging in and out of a venue where nobody liked us, getting paid, costing money to play, and facing audiences and going on tours where nobody liked us and all of that. I had this constant whipping me going, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. You got to keep on going. You got to get there. And that gets you through hard times because you just can't leave yourself alone. But now I've got to a place where I would like it to stop and shut up.
Well, it's
It
easy.
won't.
It's
It
easy.
won't.
It's
Yeah.
easy.
Is it? What did
Yeah.
you do? What
Well,
did you do?
the consciously, there's a moment in your collaboration with it. That's all that exists in your whole life. So what you've got to do is you've got to get to a stage where nothing matters, because nothing matters. Everything that happens in your whole life is an illusion that's only made real by whatever you, whatever reality you give it. So the fact of the matter is you're the dictator of the volume knob of everything that takes place. What you've got to try and do is you've got to try, just the same way if you're losing weight from 150 kilos to get to 100 kilos, you wouldn't, not eat for a week and lose 50 kilos. It takes a long time to build that in, but you've got to do things like meditate and associate with people that can be a torch for you when you're in the dark, because it doesn't take long to pull you out of that loop, but you've got to know someone who can pull you out of the loop, because without that, someone's turning up and saying, fuck, Steve Kilbey, you're a legend, when you're thinking you're just a piece of shit, that sort of
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So we'll have a long discussion. I'm going to start a podcast on consciousness soon, and we'll have a long discussion about stuff
Okay.
if you're
All
up
right.
for it,
All right.
because
It's
we'll get
good.
into all that different stuff, because
Yeah.
ultimately you can turn it off. Absolutely, you can.
Yeah.
But it's not so much turning it off. I know this is your time. It's more understanding that everything exists. So with 100 colours, that one colour doesn't mean anything. But if you're focused on that one colour, it means everything. So it's just being present to everything. Anyhow, let's
Fair enough. All right.
singer, songwriter, lyricist, composer, bass guitarist, music producer, poet, painter. Even in that statement, you got to think to yourself, this bloke's pretty fucking good, because that's what I think. How would you describe your sound? Again, new wave, neo psychedelic, indie rock, alternative rock. How would you describe your sound?
I think these days I describe it as classic rock. I think
Yeah,
it's I think we're classicists.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We you know we sort of want to sound like a mixture of Bowie and the Beatles and Dylan and
Our influences. Yeah,
yeah, all that. Yeah, we haven't been swayed by the zeitgeist. When grunge came along, the church didn't become grunge.
no,
And when Spandau Ballet came along, we weren't swayed by that. And when, dance music comes along, we
no,
didn't have a crack at
no,
dance music.
no,
We
no,
just
no.
we just go on being the church,
Yeah.
and we are constantly referencing all those greats from the golden age of rock and roll back in the dawn of time in like 1964.
And there's a lot of people that are glad that you do. Okay, a bit about your music. Sacred Echoes came out late last year.
Yeah,
That's a single. Your latest album, Eros Zeta and the perfumed guitars. Is that right?
yeah, that's right.
2024. Now, let me tell you, when I see a band and they've brought out, you're like Graney. When you see a band and they've brought out 18 albums, and you brought out 14 solos. I mean, you're chewing out albums every year just about. And there are other people that I had someone that didn't bring out an album for about 15 years.
Yeah,
What is that?
it's the
Is there a pursuit need to do that,
yeah,
or a
yeah,
want to
it's the
do that?
switch. It's the switch we're talking about. It's like I got to keep making records. I got to By the way, the Church have made like more like 30 albums, not
30.
18. Yeah. And I've like all together I'm like probably on like over 100
That's unbelievable.
things you could find.
Now,
Yeah.
Steve, how do you come to terms with that? When you start to say, I haven't done enough and all this sort of stuff, you can't not see that measurement. You can't not see the stuff that comes back about Steve Kilbey and all that sort of stuff. So do you just block it out when you say you've got this mind that's going, do?
It's my makeup. You know, like after a show, I could play a show to 1,000 people and 999 of them could be cheering and give me a standing
And you'll
ovation.
see the one that's not.
I'll see the one guy
Do
who's looking at his watch and yawning,
you
and
think
I'll
that
go,
drugs did that? Or do you think that that's
no,
just normal who you were?
I was always like that. I always it's useful.
Yes,
It's a useful thing until you can't switch it off.
absolutely. All right, let's talk for a sec about a psychedelic symphony coming out in November. What are you looking forward to that set of dates?
Well, amazing venues like the Opera House,
Oh,
which
fantastic,
sold out yesterday.
fantastic.
Hamer Hall in Melbourne. I'm looking forward to the Star Casino. I think
Yes,
that should be an interesting night.
yes.
Um, Playing with an orchestra. The orchestra is the arrangements and the conductor of the orchestra is one of my very best friends. So we're really in sync musically.
Have you played
Um,
with them before? Like, is
yeah,
this a new
yeah,
thing? No, you
yeah. We
played.
did this. We did this show in 2011, only
Ah,
once
okay.
at the Opera House. So we're sort of resurrecting it and changing it around a bit. But
It must be a hoot when you consider, like orchestras, they've got fantastic musos all the way through them. And so
yeah,
it must be a hoot to play with people that know what they're doing and know what they're doing exactly, rather than
yeah,
just going off doing their own thing in the corner.
yeah, yeah. It's a different thing. Definitely different sort of musicians.
How do you
Yeah,
front it? How do you front it? Do you front it differently?
I no, I just do what I always do. I just this the there's one, two, three, four, and
Here we
bang.
go.
I
We're in.
start and hopefully the orchestra are behaving themselves.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, I've got a whole range of about a few minutes of shit questions, which are always part of
Okay.
these
All
interviews.
right.
So, if you could perform with any music artist, alive or dead, who would you choose and why? A common question.
Jesus. Oh
Jesus,
man.
Jesus would be
Um,
perfect. The church
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Jesus, it
yeah.
goes
I
together.
know. Jesus isn't available this week, so it's probably I guess I would say Brian Eno.
What? Who is that?
Brian Eno.
Oh, it's a superstar. Um, um, what's the craziest thing you've ever done? Oh, look, I can't ask that really because there's probably
There's some
quite a bit in that 10-year
yeah,
period
yeah,
or 15
yeah,
year period which
yeah,
would
yeah.
make our
I
ears burn.
I did a lot of crazy, awful things.
Is he going to put that bio?
Yeah, 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 yeah. No,
Well,
I'm open about how
well,
fucked up
you
things
heard
were.
it here, guys. Buy
Yeah,
the book. Buy the book. It's going to be a good read.
yeah.
What's the one topic you can talk about for hours?
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll, obviously. Been what you've been eating for the last 45 years, 50 years. What's
Yeah.
the thing you like most about yourself?
Or going to sleep.
Can you sleep? I think as I get
I
older,
do. I
I
sleep
sleep for
like
about 3 or 4 hours. That's all I can do. But I'm working on publicity at 2 o'clock in the morning.
right, right. Yeah, no, I could sleep a lot better if my prostate would behave itself.
Well, that's another story. I'm not a. Jesus might be able to help you with that. I'm not sure. All right. Okay. Favorite. These are your favorites all time, or they can be just now. Favorite album.
My favorite album at the moment is Heavy Metal by Cameron Winter, who's the
Ah,
singer from Geese.
yes, yes, a good album. Favorite artist,
David Bowie.
the legend, and especially like we grew up with him when he started, when he was at the
Yeah.
start, and we saw everything right from the very go when he was, young and he looked gangly and all that sort of stuff. So it is good looking back on that sort of stuff. Favorite movie?
Oh Jesus. I should remember this, shouldn't I? Next time
No, 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 you shouldn't really.
I don't.
In the moment, that's what I'm trying to say. You've
Okay,
got to,
in the moment, in the
all you've got
moment,
to
in the
do is
moment.
turn
Okay,
up to the moment. That's all you got to
okay.
do.
I've been watching this series, which is a adaptation or adaptation, no adaptation of an American, a South American book called Hundred Years of Solitude, and they made it into a TV series. I've been watching that every night, and that's pretty amazing. It's like South American magic realism, following this family's rise and fall in this strange little village. I'm really enjoying that at the moment.
Sensational, sensational. Um, Talking about that, just got to digress quickly. There's a Ted, what's his name? Ted, the promoter from the 70s. I've forgotten his name. I know him, but when you get old, you forget names.
Ted Gardner?
No, no,
No.
no. The promoter, the guy that had all the dough that brought out AC/DC, got in the easy beats and all that. The guy that was
Albert. Ted
Ted
Albert?
Albert. Did you see that? There's
Yes.
a
The
the,
doco about him. Yeah.
oh, fantastic doco.
Yeah. I
But like
participated in that. No, I think they had like 3 seconds.
fantastic doco. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
seeing the boys, the easy beats and all that sort of stuff from a
Yeah.
struggle and Vander and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic doco. I recommend that too. Any of that old stuff is just legendary, I think. You should pull out a bit of your own and put it out, I think, too, Steve. Favorite place to visit?
Melbourne.
God's gift. Favorite venue to play?
I probably
You've played it, all of them.
I played them all. I do like playing the Enmore Theatre.
The Enmore is a legendary
Yeah.
place. A
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people, a lot of Australian people say that. They love the Enmore. Favorite food?
Um, vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian,
That's
so
why
I
you're
like
still alive.
I like veggie burgers.
There you go. You're the one. Favorite drink?
If I am gonna drink, probably would be a gin and tonic.
Favorite person in history, apart from me?
Um, yeah, Hannibal, the leader of the
Hannibal.
Carthaginians. Yes.
Oh, I think you'd be a good pub conversation, I reckon. If we got past about the first 15 minutes and all that sort of stuff, it'd get pretty interesting. And do you have a tattoo?
No.
You're a clean skin after all this
Yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. No, no tats.
No one motivated you all throughout
No,
that.
no, no,
Even when you were bloody gone on drugs and all that sort of stuff, you didn't.
no.
No one pulled you into a tattooist.
When I was gone on drugs, I needed the money for drugs. I didn't have $300 to get a tat.
That's true. That's true. That's it. That's it, Steve. 20 minutes. That's all there
Okay.
is. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. I really
Thanks,
appreciate
Dave.
it. All the
Okay.
best. Bye
Bye, mate.
bye.